Well, there was you talked about this in the book. There was, I guess, a blonde girl, a white blonde girl that lived near your house,
Next door neighbors.
next door neighbors, and that was your first crush.
Well, she befriended me, and we used to make mud cakes together with my sister and stuff, and smear our faces with the mud cakes, um, and one day she touched my face with her hand, and I'd never been touched by any young person, my mother, and I took that as a sign of affection. So I liked her for that.
But then when you guys went to school, everything changed.
Uh, we there, her mother walked her to the bus. My mother walked me to the bus. We got on the bus. Um, she sat with other friends and some young white boys who, as I looked back at them with her, stared me down. And so I just turned around and knew I was the only black kid on the bus.
Were you only black kid in the school or just on the bus?
On the bus,
Okay, but at the school there were other black kids
there were
as
a
well.
couple of other black kids at the school.
Okay, well you guys were the minority, but by far. Just a couple. That's it.
Out of hundreds, we were just a couple.
Huh. Okay. So you lived in pretty much a white neighborhood.
We lived in a school district that was divided, and so we went to Violet Avenue Elementary School, and it was, I would say, a good 80% white.
Okay. And then I guess when you got to school, the girl ended up teasing you.
Well, what happened is that it's a kindergarten class, my first day in school, and we were all asked to stand up to say our names. And I was very bashful, an introvert. And the teacher says, "What is your name?" I said, "Bill." And she said, "Bill what?" I said, "Duke." When I went outside, when I went to lunch, a number of the kids, Nancy's friends, and Nancy was with them, mocked that moment and said, one of the kids was me and one was the teacher, and the kid said, what is your name?" And the other kid said, "Bill." And he said, "What's your last name?" And the kid said, "Duke." And the kid asked him the question, "Oh, I thought you said your name was Bill Nigger." And everybody laughed, including Nancy.
Hmm.
And so I went home. My first day in kindergarten, I went home and I went to the bathroom. And they had something called Babo in those days. It was like a powder that cleaned bathrooms and stuff. And I took the cloth and the Babo. I tried to wipe the black off of my skin. And there was bleach there. Just I was about to drink the bleach. My mother came into the bathroom and took it away from me and said, "What are you doing?" I told her I wanted to be white because they made fun of me. And she started weeping, and my father was standing behind her, but he was like, stone-faced.
And was that the first time really you dealt with that type of racism? I mean, was that the point that you realized that you were a black person in America and the bigger picture of it all?
Well, being a kindergartner, you heard things from your family, and you saw things, and the stories of men going away to war and coming back and not having equal rights, and all, because my uncles were in the war.
Yeah.
But in terms of a personal experience at that age, that was the first time. It wasn't an idea then.
Mm-hmm.
It was a reality that I faced. And my parents were tough. And after all my weeping, they said, "Well, how are you going to deal with it?"
Mm.
And they taught my sister and I this phrase that I live by today. They said, always remember this: you're no better than anybody else, but nobody else is better than you. And that was important to us at that time.
Absolutely. I mean, you essentially try to kill yourself over racist remarks.